Hello and welcome, my fellow Wazzers, to the World of Zwift, the weekly show that brings you everything you need to know about the glorious world of Zwift racing. I'm OJ Borge. I'll be bringing you a whole basket of ZRL-shaped goodies on today's show, or ZRL, if that floats your boat. Take a look at this. We'll bring you highlights and results from the first ever Premier Division Team Time Trial races on Zwift. Nathan Guerra and Dave Towle will be dropping by for more ZRL chat across the leagues. Nicola Cranmer will be chatting about all things 2020, and as a lovely dessert, Russ Downing takes us around one of his favourite parcours in Zwift. It's the UCI World Course in Richmond for his Pro Rider Recon. Well, week one saw Heino and Arthur are showing their colours in the women's points race. But this week we dropped a whole new event on the ZRL map, well, the France map, but you know what I mean. It's the Team Time Trial. Now, nothing like this has happened before at the elite level on Zwift. The ZRL Premier Division represents a stacked field of the best Zwift racers on the planet. But when it came to team time trialing, nobody knew quite what to expect. So let's see how the women tore RGV apart.
Heading over to the women's race. I Race Like a Girl. They're extremely experienced when it comes to TTT. Team Arrow, they are hammering away out on this course. Evoke, their 16:45 starts to close to the Vision with only 3 riders out there. This is the team that we've been waiting to see what kind of time they're going to pull off here. 16:18, they come in 17 seconds faster, but we're only halfway through though at this point for Heino.
Putting on a team time trial clinic out here today is Heino. Heino with a command performance. Talk about just punching tickets out there today. That's not the gold. That's the new platinum standard, the Heino Racing Team.
I think we all know there's no I in team, but there are 2 I's in Team Time Trial. I loved it, I want to see more, and I shall do, I can't wait. But it's not just about the riders in the Team Time Trial. The tactics, the organisation and the team selection, well, they're all key, and a lot of that responsibility falls to the Team DS. One such DS who's been involved in racing for a long time, both on the road and on Zwift, is Nicola Cranmer of Team 2020. And Nicola joins me right now. Nicola, how are you? Great to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great for you to join us here in the server. How did you find Monday's Team Time Trial?
For me personally, it's always super stressful. Just making sure everybody's technology is in place, and to some of our athletes, it's a little bit new. So once that's all in order, it's up to them. And you know, it was really hard. And the team has been practicing, and we knew that Heino was going to be our main competition. And I was happy to say that we finished second to them, and we have a lot of room for improvement. I feel like they're so experienced that we saw what they had. We made quite a few mistakes at the beginning and the finish, and even a little bit in between. And so we have a lot of room for improvement. So I think we're actually going to do better in the next Team Time Trial.
Do you love being in the virtual team car? I know you said it's stressful getting everyone working, make sure everyone's there, but when it's happening, when you're in it, when you're in the moment, do you enjoy it?
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I mean, we actually, to be honest, we had Dan Fleeman directing our squad for the virtual Tour de France. And that was great because, you know, I like to stay in my lane, and actually directing is not usually my lane. So it is actually very stressful for me. I mean, you know, / exciting, but yeah, I mean, my heart rate goes up just dealing with all of that, but not as much as the girls, of course. But yeah, to be honest, yeah, it's stressful.
Oh, that would be great, Nicola. We need to see a heart rate for the riders and a heart rate for whoever's de-essing as well, because that would be great to see.
Definitely, yeah.
How similar is it to a team time trial on the road? Because obviously you've worked across both spheres. So how similar is the Zwift team time trial?
Yeah, it's really different. And, you know, you take the WTRL team time trial on Thursdays, which the team has been doing with 7 or 8 members. And then you look at the Premier League races and it's 5. So you really have to look at a different strategy. And, you know, I can't tell you the countless hours of research and conversations we've had amongst the team about, do we run the 5-person in a line, or do we use the mob theory? And, with 5 of you, it's less, you can't really make such a mob, but with 8 you can. So we sort of went for the sort of inline traditional version, if you say, and except on the turns we bunched up. And it seemed to work well. I mean, getting second to Heino, I think, is a really good accomplishment. That was the first time that the team had actually raced together as a team. We have a roster of 10, so we're working in different athletes all the time. And some of our athletes are preparing for the upcoming Nations Cup track season. So they're very focused on very specific training. Someone like Georgia Simmerling, who is on the Canadian national team, we stuck her into our team time trial on Monday, and she did great. But yeah, it's challenging. We're still learning. There's a lot of science behind it. So yeah, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good for, it being our first team time trial with 5 riders.
I think second's pretty good. You've mentioned Heino a couple of times. Are they beatable?
Yes, absolutely. They beat us by 40 seconds, and we have calculated how much we messed up at the start and how much we messed up at the finish. And I mean, this was just kind of communication errors on our part. So I absolutely think that they're beatable. I mean, I looked at the time splits too along the way, and we're pretty close. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting series for sure.
I'm so excited for you. And thank you so much for inviting us into your very sumptuous living room.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, 2 men who know a thing or 3 about calling a team time trial on Nathan Guerra and Dave Towle. They'll be with me again in a moment for their news and their views. But first, let's see what they made of the men's Premier Division racing on Monday.
Welcome to Zwift Live. This week, we've got Team Time Trial.
This is RGV, Route Grand Vitesse. It's not about elevation gain. It's not about distance. It's about intensity for 24.1K.
Vitas now. This team is very strong in real life. R3R are about to make a catch of Skyline. They are flying out here. No pins here, coming in with that 15-14. Wow, it is a close race at the top there. TO Auto here.
Absolutely a team to watch. Evoke going past the Legion of LA team. They're hitting hard out here. Evoke in full effect. Canyon. This is a top 3 ride that we're looking at. Canyon Esports with the win and a second with 39 total points. That's domination in the first 2 weeks of racing here.
Well, TT Royalty has just entered the server. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Doing great, OJ. What a week we had.
It's been a great week. And also hello to Nathan Guerra as well. Also royalty in the Zwift world, the arch prince of Zwift. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Joe J. Thanks a lot.
Now the dust had settled, Dave. What did Monday tell you?
Well, it's going to be a really competitive season. That's for sure, OJ. One of the things I loved was seeing that around the globe, for both the men and the women, we've got teams that are nudging their way up into that top 5. We certainly backed up the predictions about Heino on the women's side of things. They were absolutely dominant, did not miss a step out there. And Nathan was right. 2020 made a real run at it. They accomplished a massive goal in their first ever real team time trial together. They ended up second. That was an outstanding day. And then on the men's side of things, it was no surprise, to be honest. Canyon being Canyon. They did a great job, but it was really nice to see the Swedish Zwift Racing team jump up there, and Sarah's the Pros Closet as well, an established top team. They delivered the goods. So to be honest, there weren't a lot of surprises. I think we just saw a lot of teams backing up what they thought they could do.
It is. We always do see that with Canyon, don't we? I mean, the amount of power they put out, considering they didn't even have a full squad out on Monday night. Nathan, we know about Canyon. We know about Heino. Who surprised you?
Yeah, so there was a question of whether or not No Pins R3R could show up and back up what they did with Lou Bates in the women's side of things, taking second overall in the and taking a lot of points throughout the entirety of the sprint of the points race. But then they backed it up and they showed up and took a third place. So that was pretty awesome. Obviously, 2020 that was something we were talking about, whether or not the new talents on there with Kolchinsky and Reznikov would really make a difference. Obviously did. Ended up in second place on the women's side of things. So 2020 coming on like a freight train. And then on the men's side of things, you know, Bolt Racing Team, that was, whoa, where did that come from? They ended up, you know, in the points race, they were way back in like 7th or 8th place. They ended up with a 2nd overall, not very far back at all from Canon Esports. And I think the Bolt Racing Team, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with, it looks like, in the TTT. Can they translate that over to a points race, though? We'll have to see if maybe it was just kind of off their game, perhaps, in the first one, because if they can, they're going to be definitely challenging, I think, at the top spots.
Do we see that a lot in Zwift Racing, where you get a dominant team and it takes a few weeks for other teams just to work out how to get to them, how to beat them, where their chinks in the armor are?
Absolutely, OJ. This is a really interesting scenario. Think taking the yellow jersey in the first couple of days in the Tour de France. You're going to have to defend that now for almost 3 weeks. Hino has put a big target on their back. There is no doubt that they're going to be the team to beat. Here's your problem. They could maybe hold off one team at a time, but what happens when 3 or 4 teams start to cooperate out there? And as Nathan said, all the points available. There's a lot of bonuses along the way out there on Monday in the Premier League, and the other teams are going to be looking to gobble up those points and leave nothing but crumbs for Hino. So Hino has put themselves into a champion situation. When you're the best, you know it, everybody knows it, but you got to keep proving it. Cycling is the toughest sport in the world, and in esports, it is going to be brutal out there for these teams. They better bring their A game this week, that's for sure.
I loved watching it. I was watching on Monday night. I thought the show was great. I thought the racing was brilliant as well. And then on Tuesday night, me and my Catsy Big Dogs, we got involved with the Team Time Trial. First one I'd ever done. And Dave, you gave me some tips last week, so thanks for that. And on top of your advice, we actually managed to blag, because I've known him for a while, and he said yes, the fool. Dr. Michael Hutchinson, who holds a ton of TT and records in the UK, was our celebrity DS. How much do you think having his experience and knowledge and talent as our DS during that TTT helped us?
Well, he's used to working with thoroughbreds, so he didn't exactly have the same stable at his disposal here. So I'm going to guess that he's a smart guy and was able to create some new schedules. I hope you're able to live up to his standards, OJ. I'll leave it at that.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. Thank you so much. I don't think we did. He said he enjoyed it, but I don't know if it was like watching a comedy show for him. Dave, Nathan, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to Monday, and we'll speak to you again in a couple of weeks when we're back into the TTT. We've seen the Premier Division teams race. We've heard our commentators' picks for the standout moments from the top divisions in the community leagues. But what about the rest of us? The Cat B's, C's and D's of the lovely world we call Watopia. Well, I've joined up with a plucky band of brothers to take you on that journey for the rest of us. The every man and woman, the everyday Janes and OJs. Tuesday nights will never be the same again. Now that the League of Legends are in town, behold! All right, so tonight is the first of the Zwift community races, of which I'm very excited about. Now, most people at this point, they've been stretching, making sure they're taking on fluids, eating the right thing. Not for me, though. The reason for that is partly because I'm having to look after this tiny little human, and I'm eating off her plate. That's my nutritional strategy for this race. Can I have one? Thank you. Right, T-minus 10 minutes to the race. So this is my magic elixir that I put in my drink. Vimto. Proper northern. Right, out to the old pain cave. Oh, floor's wet. This is where the magic is about to happen. The last thing to do is to put a casket on. Can't wear it that way. Gotta wear it that way. Right on!
If I was going to be a winner,
There he goes! Attack off the front.
less than a kilometre to go.
For those who have destroyed themselves, I salute you.
11th. I'll take that.
That is a disgusting pool of sweat. Time now for the second of the community races. Team Time Trial, baby. We have got a stacked team with what I think you'll find is a celebrity DS. I'm very excited about it. There he is.
Go, go, go.
James. There we go. Here we are. Let's crack together. Johnny, I'm a big fan of your helmet there. It's not something I've said to anyone over the internet for a while. It's not as hard as I thought it would be to hold a.
You could pedal harder. So you got 12 Ks 11 Ks now, fairly flat. That's a nice shape, nice formation. Row through, pick it up.
Go team, go!
Normally this is the point where I've been giving you some briefings on the corners you're approaching, but obviously on Zwift, doesn't matter so much. Oj is currently at a very impressive 310 watts. So let's see a little bit more gas. A little bit more gas, just whoever's in the front, press it a little harder.
It's a struggle to keep the line.
Make sure you get a rest. If you get at the back, make sure you're making the most of that rest.
Bike handling's not my forte.
If you can do turns this long, OJ, you're not pushing hard enough.
Well, I can push a bit harder.
Yeah, it does at the minute look a little bit like you're racing each other rather than the other team. So if we can get ourselves organised, that would be nice.
There we go, that looks nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
6 kilometres in, you are a quarter of the way through your effort. Quarter of the way through your effort.
How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, good.
Terrific.
Good.
God, 195 BPM.
Mate, you've got a ridiculous heart rate. Johnny's at 195 BPM.
Oh wow, that's higher than mine.
That's the only thing
competitive.
standing between you and cycling greatest, OJ. You're 40 kilos too heavy. That's the only thing wrong with you. We've got 4. Let's get 5. Just keep it steady.
I'll drop off and pace you back. I'm feeling okay.
Nah, just let's take the pace of the group down a little. Come on, Oj, close that gap.
I don't know if those spectators are far enough apart in this COVID times.
You are more than halfway through.
Woohoo!
You're at 14 kilometres. You've got another 10.3 kilometres to go. You've just got to race 10.3 kilometres from here to the finish. Keep focus. Keep concentrating. Really nice. Really nice. There are a few little rolly hills in the last few kilometres here, so just squeeze up the hills and take a little bit of recovery on the down. I would not actually be embarrassed to be driving a team car behind this.
Yeah.
You get 7 Ks to go. You're entering the end game. You've got to start pushing it on now. This is the point where if you see Jesus, that's okay. Enjoying this. This is brilliant. 3.2 kilometres. It's 2 miles. 2 miles. Tiny bit off the boil. That's good. We're together. Go, go, go.
Come on, boys. Last K and a half.
You got a half a K. Everything you've got.
That's it, boys. Come on,
Everything
Johnny.
to the line. Everything to the line. I'm so excited. I've stood up.
Wow!
And that's it. Well done, guys. Great ride. Great ride.
Oh my God, watching that back, I realised what a sweaty mess I was after both races. Great fun though. Loved every moment of it. Well, you know, type 2 fun, but yeah, very much did enjoy. Thank you, Dr. Hutch, for coaching us through the Team Time Trial. And if you're wondering about the name of the team, well, I wanted to call us the Catsy Big Dogs, but apparently we needed something more humble, hence the Legends. Now, next week, Richmond is the world of choice, and the 2015 UCI World Championship Course is the punchy little track that we'll all be facing. Oh, the home of Sagan's famous kick on 23rd Street to grab the rainbow bands. And here with a look at that course, which he loves dearly, is the beefcake that is Russ Downing, he of the Donny Chain Gang. You don't know what the Donny Chain Gang is? Well, check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. This is his Pro Rider Recon.
Richmond circuit, great course. It does compare pretty good to real life. Don't go too hard on the first part of the course because the second half is a bit of a sting in its tail. There's going to be some fireworks on this route for sure. Just coming up to the first sprint of the day, people are going to be wanting to get round the corner without braking, get a great line and then slingshot to the sprint. In the middle section here, just recovered from the first sprint, and we've got another one coming up. You need to look out for the green banner at the side of the road. You can quite easily miss the sprints if you're getting carried away. It's a long one. That sprint hurt. Slightly uphill afterwards. And that's the thing with this course, there's no recovery. This is a bit like a downtown crit through all these bends here, then underneath the bridges, back out to the climbs. And we've got 5.5k to go. All the climbs come in the second half of this lap. The first climb coming up is a horrible kicker, 6.4%. The cobble's hurt and it's as though you're back on the start again. It really knocks you backwards. 10% it was there, really starting to bite. Leveling off, it's going downhill. Now is the time where the bunch of pods on the group that you're in can quite easily go away. We're into the KOM and there it is. That one, it can quite easily catch you out. It's a horrible climb. There's 2 climbs in quick succession, action-packed second half of the route. 1.5k to go. Get ready for the finale. It's going to be a horrible uphill slog and then into the final sprint. Good luck to everyone. That's all I can say. Good luck. I'm going to go for it. That's the Richmond UCI World Championships Zwift circuit, and it ain't easy.
Oh man, I absolutely love that beast of a course. So Monday cometh, the teams are back in points mode, and 8, yes count them, 8 points arches dot the Richmond course. One thing for sure, we're going to have some exciting racing. So Matthew Stevens is back in the hot seat right here on Monday after the best part of a month in Italy at the Giro. He'll be joined live from Spain by Hannah Walker, if we can pull her away from the Vuelta duty, that is. If you want to get involved, and of course you do, you can still sign up your team over at WTRL for the community divisions. I'll be racing again, looking forward to it. And if you want to catch the best of the community action, head over to Zwift Community Live on Tuesday. We're literally racing all over the world. We'll be back here next Friday with all that is good and great in the world of Zwift. And the TTT has cometh and shook the foundations of ZRL racing. For now, don't just ride, race. Ride on.